Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me to another episode of Music with Nick. Thank you for being here. Today we have something that brings me back to my childhood because it has a lot of connections with my dad. I know I've talked about my dad on the channel, and it's not like the best experiences, but I mean, there were also some things that where I learned a lot, and I was just, being a child, learning and listening and picking up stuff. So as you can see, we have uh, Mick Jagger pulled up, and Mick Jagger played a huge role in my dad's life, and just overall, like, there was always a lot to talk about when he was like talking about. My dad basically would only talk about himself. That's the way he was, and he would always tell me stories, or he would tell stories to other people, and I would just listen and pick up, because when we moved to Mexico from Germany, we would basically hang out with a lot of people, and there was a lot of like people trying to invest and buy properties, and there was always dinners, and I would listen at the dinner parties to my dad talk about his past and like the East Side. And a lot of people on the channel already know the East Side in Germany was a very famous nightclub, and he had all these people over like Jack Nicholson and Jerry Lewis and Adriano Celentano, Run DMC, and Pink Floyd, and Robert Plant. And he also had the Stones. And he has like the story that one night he got super high, and no, actually he went to pick him up. So he was gonna have them at the East Side after the concert. So the deal was that he was gonna pick them up from the airport, drive them to the stadium. They would have their performance, and then after the performance, after the show, they would go to the after party to my dad's nightclub, and that's how it happened. But the story goes that he picked them up in his right mind because they're already drunk, they can't drive, and they're about to play. So suddenly, like, I don't know if it was Mick Jagger or I think what's his name, the immortal the guitar player, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. Oh, God damn. I can't believe I can't remember his name. But well, the guitar player, the name will come to me. He takes out a doobie and he gives it just, he starts smoking. And my dad got so high that he was like, okay, after 15 minutes, they're like, Sergio, like, where are we, man? Like, the show starts in like an hour. He's like, I have no idea. I'm so lost. They were lost somewhere in Munich. There are no GPSs. There's maybe a map, but you basically had to like, drive by memory. And, you have to, you're either a cab driver and you're like, know the inside and outside of the cities. But back in I think this was in the 70's, if you got lost, if you got drunk or high, then you were doomed. And basically, yeah. So it took my dad a while to get out of where they were and drive him safely to the stadium to perform. So that's one of those stories that I would constantly hear. Yeah, it's just like a lot. I should talk about my dad more often, but it was a lot of these situations that it would just come up at the dinner table, and he would just like, oh, remember that time, and like then when I did this, and then he like Adriano Celentano was an Italian, he was an Italian singer, like shows up, and like he was like this guy, and he's just like, hey, do you have a microphone? I could put on a show, and he's like, sure, and then he puts on the amazing show, and I love Adriano Celentano. He's a great Italian singer. And it's just like this stuff, or so back to the video. So here we are. So a little bit of a technical problem here. So I just wanted to thank, this video is sponsored by a subscriber of ours, Mr. Richard Hinman. Thank you so much, Mr. Hinman. You've also donated to the channel just because, you've sent us some some coffees through Buy Me a Coffee, and it was like literally just because. So thank you so much. We get so much emails, it's hard to respond to everyone, but I wanted to thank you personally right now in the video. Mr. Hinman, thank you so much for for doing this, and you're really helping us with a lot of things. So of course, so this video is for Richard, and this is the Rolling Stones. This is called Midnight Rambler, live at the Marquee Club 1971. So let's get into it. Thank you so much. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. It does help out the channel. If you don't like the video, you can give me a thumbs down as well. I will see it, even though they're disabled. For you guys, we can see them very well, but it's super weird because it's just like literally every video has one dislike only. I don't know why. Like, I mean, some has 2, 3, or 4 maximum. I've never seen a video with more than 5 dislikes. It just doesn't happen. But there is one person, I don't know if it's a male or a female, but that person always dislikes religiously our videos. So I guess it's just one of those people that don't seem to like what we do. But yeah, it's just like ridiculous because there's like, if I look at 50 videos, there's one dislike on each video, like one. It's just so crazy. But wow, okay, so let's do the Rolling Stones. Now, I did see them one time. This was my first concert ever in my life. I was about 7, 8 years old. My mom and dad did take me to see the Stones in Munich, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't understand. So I had no idea. I just remember a lot of noise and Mick Jagger like taking the mic stand, and it was like inflatables, these wolves. So I don't know what tour it was, maybe 88 or I have no idea. But yeah. So here we go, and enjoy. Thank you so much, Richard. Here we go with the video. Keith Richards, of course, now that I see him.
Well, I'm talking about the Midnight Rambler. I'm talking about the Midnight Rambler. Everybody got to go. Well, I'm talking about the Midnight Gambler. And did you see me jump the garden wall? Shine down the window so sadly. And listen to the hear me moan. Well, I'm talking about the Midnight Gambler. Everybody got to go. I'm talking about the Midnight Gambler. The one you never see before. Well, I'm talking about the Midnight Rambler. And did you see me jump the garden wall? I'm gonna do a hoop, I'm a warning. I just am in the back that row. I don't think the light of the morning. I split the time to cock a crow. I talk about the Midnight Gambler. Honey, snow, rock and roll show. Well, I'm talking about the Midnight Gambler. Everybody got to go.
I didn't know that he played the harmonica that well. It's insane, and it's so crazy to see how young they are, and they're still doing it today. They really withstood the test of time. Like all of them, they're still playing live. That's a life, man. I mean, to do this the entire life, 50 years, must be insane, you know, to only know that going to work is playing your instruments, you know, and making millions. Wow. It's just amazing. I just really respect these guys. Musically, they've never been my on my radar, you know. But it can always change. Look, a year ago I didn't know Steely Dan, and now they're like literally my favorite band. But I've heard a lot of Rolling Stones in my life, especially Martin Scorsese uses them almost in every movie of his. So there's a lot of songs that I do enjoy. So let's keep going. This is a longer video, so I wonder what's gonna happen, if there's gonna be like a jam session or something. Let's go. Let's dive into it. I was just thinking, like, thank God for YouTube, because I mean, first of all, without YouTube, I couldn't do this. And then, second of all, I mean, I remember in 2004, suddenly, like, this person comes up to me and is like, hey, have you seen YouTube? It's like this thing on the internet where you can watch videos. I'm like, what? Yeah, you can, like, literally type in anything. And I mean, the content wasn't as, like, literally now you can watch anything, or you can find almost any concert. But I mean, I remember back in 99, I would have to buy my, you know, DVDs, and they were like expensive. If I wanted to see any live show, I had to buy it. And it was a great time, you know, because you would invest a lot of money, and those were sacred, you know, those DVDs, or not Blu-rays, the DVDs, or VHS tapes. You can also go into a record store and say, hey, how much would you charge me if you make a copy of that DVD onto a VHS, you know? So but now we can pull up anything, and I can just watch, you know, the Rolling Stones. I don't know if my dad is taking full advantage of this because he's living in Rome and he's in a home, so I don't know if he has YouTube access or anything. But the way, I guess, we took care of my mom, and my mom has like now YouTube and Amazon Prime and Netflix, and she has everything. All the movies we buy, she can access them. Because we buy a lot of movies, trust me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna maybe next year go to Italy and just check out how my dad's doing. And even though he wasn't the best father, he still deserves, you know, to be taken care of, you know. So last time we spoke, I told him that I loved him and that I forgave him, and it was very hard on me, very hard childhood. Later, my childhood as a child was wonderful with my mom, but my teenage years were just awful. And so yeah, so but it doesn't matter, you know. The past is the past, and I think it's very important to forgive in life. And I'm not a very religious person. I do believe in God, but I'm not all about, you know, I do choose who I forgive and who I don't. It's not just all like I'm not gonna turn the cheek to everyone, you know. But to your parents, I think it's very important, you know. So let's continue. I'm loving this. I'm loving really the jam. It's like you can hear that it's a theme, the Midnight Rambler, but it's also getting into this jam session now. So let's continue.
Go down on me, baby. Go down on me, baby. Go down on me, baby. Go down on me, baby.
They're having a really good time. Have you seen the movie, the new Elvis movie? That actor who played Elvis, he should play Mick Jagger. He looks more like Mick Jagger. Literally, he has those really thick lips, and it's so funny. I just wanted to tell you guys, when I was a child, I always confused Steven Tyler with Mick Jagger. I thought they were the same person. I don't know. It's something about their mouths. They're very big. So yeah, that's something that I just wanted to tell you guys. But yeah, this is really good. They're having a lot of fun.
Well, you heard about the Boston. Honey, it's not one of those. Well, I'm talking about the midnight. Dear, you see me shut the bedroom door. I'm called a hit and run reaper, or just a knife sharpened tippy toe, or just a shooter dead brain bell jangling down. Everybody got to go.
you go. Wow, this was great, man. The second guitar player, not Keith Richards. He's very good. He was improvising very nice, blues solos there. I don't think he's like a member of the band. It was just the four. The bass player, the drummer that passed away a couple of years ago, and then Mick Jagger, and then um, oh my god, now I lost this. I forgot his name again. Keith, Keith Richards. Um, man, what a cool band! What a cool band to hear live. Never seen them live like this. I mean, I guess since I was a kid, uh, but I've never like looked up a Rolling Stones video just to see them. It's crazy. They still look like this, just 50 years older. But they still look the part, they still have it in them. They're like amazing because they've surpassed everyone, like the Beatles and Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, and all these bands are no longer together and they're still going strong. So just to do that alone, it must be is a huge undertaking. And to see all those rock stars, slowly, leave us, like Bowie and Prince, and just amazing musicians that pass away each year. It's crazy. So to be in that age range, it must be kind of like wow, like, and then to see the drummer go. The Rolling Stones have always been fascinating, but I mean, like I said, I've been never into their music because I don't know, like it's just one of those things like that you just don't listen to because I don't know, like I still don't even know all the Beatles. I just knew like two albums, like the ones we've covered on the channel. I did know some Beatles hits, but I've never deep dived into those bands, and I don't know. I was just so busy with other music. There's so much music. That's why this channel, I think, I don't know if we ever could stop, So, but thank you so much for this request. This was awesome. Everybody, let me know what you thought. I mean, this was more like a commentary instead of a reaction. But I hope you did enjoy. Thank you so much for the request. And like and subscribe, everyone. Please do. You do help us a lot. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.